Hello viewers, I'm SB, and this is Dead Cells. This game has become a lot more popular since I first featured it on the channel, like right back when it entered early access. But the 1.0 edition finally came out yesterday, and I'm excited to show the final product off. I think this game was great when I first picked it up, and it has only become greater. The developers at Motion Twin have really put in a lot of fantastic work. It's just a total joy to play. So we're going to get in here. I do want to say, before we get going, because I've been doing this Let's Play thing for a while, and I know somebody in the comments is going to be like, they're going to notice the keyboard prompts. They're going to be like, SB, it says we recommend playing the game with the controller right there on the screen. Listen, I have never followed anyone's recommendations my entire life. People have been like recommending that I stop eating exclusively garbage, and that I don't headbang so much, and that I stop sending that Nigerian prince all my money because he's probably not even real. And let me tell you something, I'm doing just fine. The brain damage is comparatively minor, and I'm going to be rich. So, where was I going with this? Let's play Dead Cells. Alright, we're starting a new save file here. So we're going to have some kind of crummy equipment on this first run, but if you're not familiar with the thing, you should be pretty quickly. It's not a complicated game conceptually. So you can see very 16-bit graphic style. It's an action platformy game. We can jump, we have a sword that we can swing at people, we have a cool dodge roll. You know, it's one of these games. You can open doors like a normal person if you're boring. Aren't you the headless fellow that's been getting around? Well, I don't have a head. That looks like me. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Ah, yeah, that's right. No tongue. Anyway, must be strange to be back from the dead. Is it? Am I that? I mean, surely you must have noticed. You can no longer die? I don't really understand it. But you're not the first to find yourself in this situation, if that's what you want to know. I appreciate the fact that the main character can't speak and has to mime all of his responses. Do you have any other information? No, you do not. Okay. So we have our sword. We also have a secondary weapon slot and 2 ability slots. We can pick up other stuff to put in. But the point is, we're only going to be able to carry with us either this bow or this shield. Or I guess we could carry both and discard the sword, but I think that would be borderline suicidal. Let's take the bow. I do like the shields and the parry mechanic. The bow's a little bit simpler to use, and I'm less likely to screw it up. I will say, there's a pretty good chance we're going to get pretty deep into the game here. Not to go tooting my own horn or anything, but I eventually got pretty okay at this game. So, there will be, I guess, some spoilers, insofar as spoilers are possible for a game that's basically just an action platformer. So, if we get to the point of the video where you're like, yeah, this looks super cool and like a thing I would be into, just go ahead and buy it. Don't let me take any of the mystery out of it for you. Okay, we found our first scroll of power. These are really important. So, you can see different items have different colors. Every item in the game is either red, purple, green, some combination of those, or colorless. When you pick up a scroll and you set it to red, it will give you some XP and also 15% damage with, HP rather, and also 15% damage bonus with red items. The different stats scale your HP differently according to how offensively oriented they are. All this will make a little bit more sense once you see some more items. I guess we'll just go red for right now. Our sword is our primary weapon, and a lot of the good melee weapons are red. There's a little bit of a mechanical identity to each color that will become clearer as we pick stuff up. Yeah, the combat's just really fast-paced. You're very mobile. It's just like a joy to move around. I love all the animations. The game has a very strong presentation, which I guess is probably something I don't have to tell you. Okay, cherries. We do not need these cherries. Sorry, I am not at full health. I will eat the cherries. And let's get us another scroll. So you can see, the more points in a stat you have, the lower it scales your HP, so you do want to pick up some off-stat stuff eventually, just that you can keep your HP rolling up. I will say, this starting weapon's a little bit boring. You get access to some really cool stuff eventually. Alright, so you see this rune here in the wall. Check it out, we discovered a secret. There are lots of little secrets and things scattered all throughout the game. The levels are semi-procedurally generated. cut together out of rooms and hallways. If you play the game enough, you'll start to recognize rooms here and there. It's a lot like the way Spelunky levels are built. Hey, look, this gross pulsating slime on the floor. We can tickle it. Sure, why wouldn't I want to put my hand in that? Okay, the slime seems to enjoy it. I enjoyed it. Everybody's happy. But this game builds itself as a roguelike Metroidvania, which is a union of concepts that I hadn't really heard of when I first became aware of Dead Cells, and unfortunately during their time in early access, 1,500 of those games came out. The concept's a little bit less unique than it once was. If something can be said to be less unique. So unique's kind of an all-or-nothing deal. Ooh, hey, that's another sword. Well, it has higher DPS than our current sword, and pretty similar combo. Swings pretty fast, though. Look at this. More secrets. Just roll around. There's just, if you're paying attention to the environment, there are all kinds of weird little places to go. Ooh, our first blueprint. So, this is where the roguelitiness of it comes in. You discover these blueprints throughout the game. Do I have a view of my blueprints? Yeah. So you discover blueprints throughout the game, and you have to take them somewhere, and they'll do something, and they'll unlock the item for the rest of your runs. I think we can just skate past this shop right now. I would like some new gear, but honestly, I don't think any of these items are fantastic. Listen, we'll try lots of different stuff over the course of the game. Okay. There is, in fact, still an area we haven't explored. So, these big, fancy rune things are teleporters. Just ran past a whole bunch of them without explaining them. But they let you get around the level a little quicker. Once you've discovered one, it becomes available to you to teleport to from any other teleporter on the level. Okay, a grenade. A nice throwable skill item that is red, which is good for us, obviously. I don't remember what I was talking about. You know, I have all that headbanging brain damage. Listen, when I was younger, and I was at a metal show or something, I could just, like, go, right? Nowadays, if I just move my head from one side to the other too fast, it hurts. So I think I may have actually done some damage. Ah, this guy. Well, look who it is. I'm the Collector, and I'm about the closest thing you'll find to decent company around here. Harsh words for that lady. Bring me the cells you gather from the others. In exchange, I'll procure a few useful items for you. Should you stumble upon a blueprint, bring it to me, and I will introduce you to some more experimental items. So yeah, we bring this guy our blueprint. Hey, I have one of those things. Okay, here it is. It did go into his inventory now. So we pick up these cells from enemies. We're picking up gold, which we can use to buy stuff from shops, but we're also picking up cells, which is the upgrade currency. So we'll spend 5 of our cells on this. And now we have a health potion that can be used at any time. And we've unlocked the ability to buy a whole bunch of other stuff, like upgrades for our health potions. We can carry money over from one game to the next. We can get the ability to sell items that we don't want to pick up. But I think we're gonna put our last cell into the blood sword here. It'll be good for us to unlock some cooler weapons. Alright, thanks, man. Well, hello, Mr. Prisoner, sir. I'm really happy I found this great stinking pile of corpses. Yeah, that's, good for you. Funny, they look a little like me. Oh. Yeah, that's unsettling. What if you walked into a room and there was just a big pile of dead yous, of course with no head? Does that make it better or worse, the fact that they don't have a head? Alright, so also, we have some mutation slots. It's not actually visible on the UI, but you can carry up to 3 mutations at a time, and we'll unlock more of these in much the same way that we unlock new weapons. We'll find blueprints in the world, and we have to get them back to this guy for them to actually take effect. So anything we pick up on a level goes away if we die on that level. Any blueprints. Let's go for, you know what, a dramatic reduction in grenade time. We have this grenade, we may as well get to use it. So now, on F, I have this this health potion, which I can pull out and drink if I'm feeling a little, you know, roughed up. It takes a minute to use, and we can refill it every time we go back to the collector's area, which will be after each level. Time was, you could still hear the occasional birds singing outside. I mean, you probably still can, right? We just saw those birds. They're right there. I guess I don't have to roll through every door. We can kill some of them with our weapons. Alright, so for right now, I think the thing that would be best for us is to be pretty thorough in these areas. You don't actually have to fight every enemy, but there is value in fighting all the enemies, because obviously the enemies have the gold and the cells, which we need to buy and upgrade our equipment. However, there is a compelling reason not to fight everything. These timed doors have cool treasure behind them, and you have to get to them pretty quickly in order to open them. We've also, luckily, discovered a fancy little floor rune here. Those glow when you're near them. It's really easy to miss them if you're not specifically looking for them. But the ones in the floor open up challenge areas. Ooh! So, you've stumbled through a rift, eh? Yes, that's correct. Bet you'd like to take these little beauties with you, now wouldn't you? Also yes, double yes, in fact. Well, if you do decide to take them, getting out won't be anything like getting in. Good luck. Alright. I think that guy was trying to intimidate me, but he doesn't know I'm immune to intimidation, because I'm not smart enough to understand it. So we've discovered a necklace. New necklace for our next slot. Minus 10% damage received, and you get gold when you get a cell. Also, it has 1 purple stat on it, which is, at the moment, mostly health, but also damage for our bow. I think we're going to stick red for a little while longer. So you can see, each of the mutations is colored. Well, either red, purple, green, or colorless. And a mutation that has a color is upgraded in effectiveness when you take more points of that color. If we get another, 15 points of brutality, our grenade cooldown will get really, really extremely short. It's already pretty short. But I think we're going to stick with increasing our damage output as much as possible here. So the goal is to get through these areas without getting totally murdered. Ow, ow. We're fine, everything's fine. I just got a little bit of a spike in my face and then also some razor blades. Ow. The controls are really precise. I want to make this clear. Any failure that I have here is a failure on my part. Why did I press roll? Why would that be the button that I pressed there? It is what I pressed, but it definitely shouldn't have been. So obviously these areas exist to... I did not have a strong plan there. Okay, we're going to have to actually get up on that platform. I'm just going to use our flask. Obviously these areas exist to drain your health. But hey, it's hard to complain. We got a couple of stat points out of it. Often the chest will contain like a cool weapon or something. I always want to go in those when I see them. And then they sometimes end the run, because I'm bad. So we also have this stomp move. So we can double jump and then hit down and jump. And not just do damage, but actually, if you come down on an enemy from high enough, you also stun them. I'm going to try to do that here. Okay, well that's a bad example because he instantly died, but you see where I'm getting at. So you see how we're running kind of faster now? We're leaving a little after image. After you've killed some enemies for a little while, you get a speed buff. So the more you're killing, the faster you move, which makes it easier to get to more enemies, which means you get to kill more, which means you get faster. And there's a joy to it. There's a joy to just like tearing through an area, rolling and flipping and diving all over the place, and just murdering everything in sight. Okay, so this time we found a scroll that will not let us take a point of red. Take another point of purple for bow damage, but I'm obviously not using my bow that much, mostly because I'm forgetful. So let's take survival. That's a lot of HP. Look at how good our health is getting. Oh, this guy's invincible because of this training dummy that forces you to fight it first. Nope, did a bad job there. I thought I'd be able to jump high enough to get him. So in the future, I probably will try to move a little bit faster and not fight everything because the timed doors are actually pretty valuable. But for this first run, let's be thorough. So you can see the icon above our head indicating that we really have a good level of speed buff going. Ooh. I think we're going to spend some gold on this. I really like the firebrands as an item, and it's a ranged weapon that scales with red. You can see the aura around it is both purple and red. Let's pick this up. So items that have a double colored aura like that will scale with whichever of your relevant stats is highest. So you can see that the purple has been moved off just to a little corner of the icon, and it is now mostly red. Frost Blast. This is a thing that goes in a weapon slot. You can see that our weapon slots are glowing while we're considering it. So I'm going to take the Ice Grenade instead, because we can pick that up without losing anything. And it's a grenade. Scales with red, plays into our little linear here. Some more goo to tickle, because who wouldn't want to tickle some goo? And hey, look at that. Somehow, we made it. Maybe made it is too strong a word for where we are now. This is probably not exactly what success looks like, but obviously you can see this ice grenade slows people, as you might expect if you've ever played a video game that has ice magic in it. And we've discovered our first rune. They may have changed the name. They might be artifacts now, I guess. They changed the names of a bunch of stuff for the release build. Oh no, still runes. Okay. Vine Rune. This permanent rune causes climbing vines to grow. So the runes are permanent upgrades. When it says permanent, it means like beyond this run. Not everything about the game is run-based, of course. It's a roguelite. There's some persistent progression. So now that we have this rune, we can tickle the slimes in a more effective way that makes their vines grow. I'm not going to think too hard about what that is. Let's just give it no further thought. It's just a thing that happens, that we do with our hands, that we will never speak of again. So our firebrand here not only hits enemies, but also leaves a fire on the ground. And you can see there, enemies that stand in the fire will get additional stacks of this burning damage over time thing. Less effective in water, as you might imagine. Oh, and it has a property. I didn't actually look at this, but when we fire it, it also shoots an arrow in front of us that does 77 damage. So you can see that little blue arrow. That's actually really handy. This is a good firebrand. So each area has its unique enemies. There are some enemies that are shared between areas as well. Like these skeletons show up in a lot of places. These guys with all of the bombs growing out of their back, I guess is what's happening there. Those guys show up in a lot of different places. What is this? A statue of the king of the island. How could he see anything with that helmet on? That's true, there doesn't seem to be like an opening. A new blueprint, the Spartan Sandals. Obviously there's some kind of something happening here, but we have no ability to interact with it just yet. So the runes are kind of the Metroidvania part of the game, and I think it's an interesting way to implement it. You gain movement abilities that allow you to access new areas as you would in a Metroidvania, and that's the like one of the very few things that's persistent between runs. So it's not so much that each run plays like a Metroidvania, but that the game as a whole over the multiple runs plays like one, which is I think a really interesting idea. We're just gonna keep rolling red for a while. Ow. I failed to jump before leaving the platform, and the double jump afterward was not quite enough to carry me to safety there. Let's rub this weird smiley statue. Okay, seems to enjoy it. And that's just life, right? You just run around and you rub and tickle various objects and life forms that you meet, and sometimes it works out for you and sometimes it doesn't. Also, this place is a little grim. There are things about this that are not entirely pleasant. This prisoner's stay was cut short. Can't say whether it's a man or a woman. And you can see in the background, it's like that back there too. Some good use of like some real old school parallax scrolling effects. These training dummies are a huge pain. I do tend to fixate on one weapon. It's really easy for me to think of every problem in terms of like, this is my hammer, how do I pound in that nail? Better players, of course, will make sure to use their full inventory. It's like I have these firebrands, I'm not even remembering to throw them as I approach. You can see there's very little animation to them. They don't really stop you for very long. Ooh, watermelon. I'll take that. I should say, can I get to the options menu here? This is one of my favorite things about this game, actually. It's such a small thing, but it's a really cool idea. There's a bunch of different skins for what the food looks like. I have it set on fruit right now. You can go for your Castlevania-esque, some basic video game meat, you know, turkey legs and whatnot. Why don't we set it to monster? I don't actually know what the health items are when you are on the monster diet. Turns out it's just Atkins. So you can see the firebrands don't ignite if we throw them at something that's too far away. So you have to be a little careful about that. And I missed with my stomp. But yeah, just like the fluidity of the game, the fact that you never ever have to stop moving, this is the thing that it seems we can't interact with just yet. Listen, eventually we'll come back with our sweet jetpack, and then all problems will be solved. Don't you dare hit me. Yeah, we should also be using these grenades more. The Infantry Grenade has, like, no cooldown already. Yeah, and with the arrow that shoots out of our firebrands, man, we don't have to stop moving ever. I guess, except when we reach the end of the level. Let's see what's over here first. Okay, what's over here is a submerged one of those rubby statues. I rubbed it and then I immediately thought, hey, I'm submerged in water now. Maybe I don't want to create a bunch of electricity. Alright, let's head up to the next area. So, the game features branching paths. It's not always the same levels, or rather, it is always the same levels, but you don't always have to take the same path through them. You will see different levels on different runs. Hey, buddy. We brought you some new blueprints. Let's get ourselves a blood sword. So when we finish unlocking a thing, not only do we make this now an item that can drop on any run, but we'll immediately receive one of them as well. Better DPS, causes bleeding, and victims burn. Alright, I'm down with that. We can do that thing. And then, we have quite a few cells. What do we want to go to next? We can give ourselves some better starting items. It won't just be the basic bow and shield at the beginning of each run after we unlock these. We have to unlock 10 more items to get a random melee weapon to start with. 18 more items to get the ability to change up the items in the shop. Okay, let's go for health flask. Having more charges in our health flask is going to be very, very helpful. So let's see. We've unlocked a few. We have access to a few more new mutations here, or maybe I just didn't scroll the menu down because Fireworks Technician was the right thing to pick anyway. Do we have a mutation that lowers the cooldown of items that aren't grenades? Who would even use this? Recovering HP after enemies die, extra ammo for our weapons. The firebrands have infinite ammo. We can just get 30% extra HP. You can buy basically an extra life, but you have to do it as the first mutation you take, I believe. Honestly, none of these are really like blowing my mind. Let's take combo. Extra damage after we kill stuff. This fits well with our playstyle of just maximum speed running through the level, murdering everything in sight. And then, like, seems like it didn't actually give this guy my blueprints. Okay, there we go. Stuff is available now. So we've unlocked Spartan Sandals, which you may have guessed from the name. This is dead cells. You kick a guy. You kick them and they go flying backward, and if they hit a wall, it does a lot of damage. And then here we have a shield that can't parry. We'll talk about shields on the next run. I do feel bad for whoever has to repair stuff in this place, because we are not going to leave a single door on its hinges. Honestly, being like maintenance crew or janitorial in this horrifying monster-filled dungeon probably sucks enough already without me ruining everything, but it feels so cool. You know, game, you're not doing a good job of showing off the sweet enemy diversity. There are a lot of cool, well-designed enemies, and we're just seeing the same garbage over and over again. That's another prisoner. We know what's going to happen if we read that. You also don't have to do the stomp on every fall, but again, it feels cool, so I'm doing it. Ooh, a bear trap. Or I guess they're called wolf traps now. Like I said, they changed the names of a lot of items. This does not scale with red. I do like the wolf trap quite a bit, but I think we're going to stick with our linear. Let's throw grenades at everybody all the time. But I do have to remember to throw grenades at everybody all the time. Alright, 2 minutes 46. Okay, so this is an 8-minute door. That's very doable. Heck, we could even have done that on this run, even being slow and fighting every enemy, if I had just stopped to talk less. Ooh, hey. So you may have noticed that enemy had a star above his head before I killed him. That means that he will drop a scroll. Or a scroll. There's a certain number of scrolls in each area, each level, I guess. Sometimes they are sitting around on the ground in those cool little scroll cases, but sometimes they are carried by enemies. Yeah, it's really easy to maintain this combo buff. It stays active for 15 seconds, it said? That's like an eternity. Green is still giving us more health than purple, even though we have more points of green. Green is just the stat that scales your health up. That's what it's for. It generally is the color you'll find on shields. So that's the survivability stat. But they also made it the color that you find on heavier, slower weapons. So it's kind of like the... Oh, hey, there's a floor rune here. I almost missed this. It's also the color you'll find on heavier, slower weapons. So it's kind of like the color of fighting via parries and waiting for your opening and stuff. Okay, another necklace. Well, this is just straight up better than the one we have now. We'll no longer get gold every time we get a cell, but now we collect all of our golden cells without having to be near them. And I do love not taking damage from projectiles. And yeah, now we're buffing 2 traits as well as all 4 of our items. It's going to be hard not to take points of red. Alright, this time I'm going to not get hit by so many very obvious traps. It is a little... Ow. Wasn't really looking ahead there. It's a little bit of a shame that there's no enemies in these areas, because I think it would be fun to have the speed buff. Well, I am standing in the spikes. There we go. I'm not in love with the fact that I can't really see where I'm falling to here. Yeah, it would be fun to like fight enemies and have traps so that you can get your speed buff up and then use that to run through the trap areas. I guess that would make them a little easier. I wouldn't keep failing that jump if I had a little bit more movement speed. This game does a really good job, too, of like building the power curve. You feel very weak at the beginning of a run, and then considerably less so as the run goes on. Although, I will say, we've powered up to being great and powerful really quickly here. More quickly than we will once we unlock the higher difficulties. It is not the case that enemies will always go down like this. It's just that we only have the beginner difficulty unlocked right now. Aw, my speed buff. We're doing super well on stat points, though. Yeah, keep it rolling, why not? Honestly, I guess the correct answer is because you're already killing the enemies fast enough, and maybe you should think about other stuff. But, like, killing enemies, you know? What else is my purpose in life? I actually have no non-violence verbs available with which to interact with this world, so... Hey, guy. I'm not certain there's a platform beneath him, so I'm... Not that he needs to die, but I want him to... whatever. He has escaped my wrath. So whenever you smash a door open like that, any enemies that are behind it will become stunned, which is part of the reason. Once you realize that, you get into the habit of smashing every door. Yeah, sometimes there's invisible enemies, or there's lots of good reasons to do that. Oh, okay. Sure, straight monster viscera. Delicious. You know what I like best about devouring monster organs? What is that? It's the way they make their own gravy. Huh. That's interesting. How are we getting there? There's kind of a pattern on the wall here. Hold on. Aha. I mean, I say aha. There's not a... I don't know where to get a gardener's key, so... Alright, we got something to discover. I haven't played the game in a few builds, so I guess we'll find out what's in there. That's a good goal for us to have, figuring out a secret. There's no fall damage. If you fall a very long distance, you will get stunned, but you won't get stunned on any fall that you're doing the stomp on. So part of the reason that I stomp so much, especially when I can't see the bottom of wherever I'm falling to, is that. Ooh, a new infantry grenade that does more base damage, considerably more, and also does double damage against burning targets. That fits in very well with the thing we are currently doing. As you can see, money's not super tight on the runs, at least on this difficulty. What am I doing? I'm climbing back up, using my own legs like a sucker. At least on this difficulty, you will generally be able to buy something from each shop you come across, as long as you don't go crazy. On the higher difficulties, you have to be a little bit more careful with your money. I really do appreciate the fact that they scale both the enemies, like the actual combat, and the economy with difficulty, because resource management is a thing that some players struggle with, I know. And it's nice that on the easier difficulties, that stuff is easier as well for them. Ow. You can see those shield guys. They obviously block all frontal attacks with their massive, ridiculous riot shield. And then they have that shield charge, which is very annoying to deal with. You can parry it, and I think stun them by parrying it, but it's much easier just to roll behind them and hit them in the back. They give you this wonderful athletic roll. May as well use it. We're just going to keep going red. I'm red till I'm dead. But I guess I'm already dead, but I'm red till I'm dead again. Maybe. Maybe still red after that. It's possible. I don't want to guarantee that I will no longer be red. Okay, well here we have discovered the way to the Black Bridge. But also, I don't think we're totally done with this area. So I have no idea how long these runs are going to turn out to be. I wasn't really playing the game for the channel before, so I wasn't timing it. It may be the case that I end up splitting the runs in half if they start getting too long. And also, I don't really know how many... Ooh, almost fell off a cliff there. I don't really know how many videos we're going to do here. Like, this whole series is kind of winging it, so hold on, there might be stuff. Okay, sometimes there's stuff in the cracks between the buildings. Also, the camera's... Aha. Oh, hey, okay. I was going to say, aha, we might need a thing to get over there, but there is a thing. We've discovered the blueprint for Nerves of Steel. That's a strange name for a bow. Yeah, I was just noticing the camera was going way off to the side. I guess you could see something like this and just go, ah, it's telling me I'm at the end of the thing. Look at how much space there is over there. But I interpreted it the way it would have been in a 16-bit video game, which is to say, they're telling me to jump. You can negate the stun from a fall by rolling, I think, even though I didn't do it there. I think you can do it if you're rolling as you hit the ground. Every once in a while, you can't stomp, like when you actually need to get some horizontal distance on your jump. Nope, really, it doesn't smell any better here than the rest of the island. That's a shame, because I assume, given the number of dead things, that the rest of the island smells, let's say, bad-ish. Alright, so now we get 2 uses out of our health flask between recharges. And we may as well unlock some new items, although maybe I should unlock recycling. Right now we're just having to leave a lot of items on the ground in the world. Let's unlock more stuff for us to use. I'll be honest with you, I don't think of the frontline shield and the Spartan Sandals as awesome items. But we do need to just be unlocking items to keep getting access to new upgrades. And then let's start putting gold into carrying money over when we die. I think that's a pretty important thing. Alright, and that did count as an item for the purpose of advancing our other unlocks. Okay, so we have access to the thing here. Plus our 1% of HP recovered per attack, but plus 100% damage taken. I am really not interested in that. And this is just not really a shield run. We have a gimmick, I'm gonna keep doing it. Alright, so we get another mutation. Recover HP when enemies die, or just a big flat HP boost. Not flat, sorry, percentage HP boost. We're not having a lot of trouble with the enemies right now, but, like, obviously ammo for your weapons is not great. We have no skills that are not grenades. Let's just get a great big health pool. Necromancy is better for, like, progressing through the levels, but we're not having difficulty with the levels at all. So that refills our flask and maxes out our HP. And a larger total HP pool is better for helping us fight bosses. Alright, let's have a look at this first boss here, the Concierge. Concierge? I don't know. He used to be called the Unfinished One, but I guess that's, it's fair enough that he's lost that name, since he obviously is finished now. It says 1.0 right on the title screen. So we have a lot of damage over time effects building up now. Also, I should probably not throw grenades at invincible enemies. I need to stop letting him corner me with that damage shield. Get on the other side of him. Ow. Still got hit by it. Well, we're doing damage to him pretty quickly. It helps that I'm remembering to use my grenades now. Also, it helps that the frost grenade means that his attack telegraph is like 5 seconds long. I'm on the small side of the room again. So as you can see, as his health gets lower, he picks up more attacks. He's learned some new stuff over the course of the fight, and that's a pattern with Dead Cells bosses. As you get them lower on health, they become more dangerous. I think I hit him with that bomb in the top of his head, and it forced him back down to the ground out of his jump. Okay. We have discovered here a rune. This permanent rune provides access to the daily challenge. Oh yeah, there's daily challenge runs. Also, we got a blueprint for the heavy crossbow, which is an okay weapon. It's fine. And we've acquired some twin daggers. These are gold colored. Oh, they're they're colorless. I guess they changed the way colorless items look now. So the highest level of our stat applies. They inflict a critical hit on the third consecutive strike. The twin daggers are a pretty alright weapon. Again, with that healing but take double damage thing, I really don't want to take double damage. And again, like, most of the time, the things that are dangerous are bosses, and against bosses, taking double damage seems like a really good way to die. It does have a point of strength on it, though. Does bonus damage to bleeding targets. I think 994 DPS, 1536 on the crits. What is our current weapon? 416. Wow. Alright, we're going to take this. I'm just going to have to play a little bit better, but that's a lot of damage, man. Yeah, we can't ignore that. And so now, we should try to find a way to make enemies bleed. We could have kept the blood sword, used it to apply bleeds, and then hit enemies with our cool daggers that do extra damage on bleeding targets. But the bleeding damage isn't that much extra, and also I want to still have a ranged attack. And we do still need something to set enemies on fire for our grenade. Stilt Village and the Slumbering Sanctuary. A well-prepared journey is the key to success. That's nonsense. I showed up here with basically nothing to my name, and I'm doing just fine. Hey, you short stuff. You made it this far alive, eh? Well, I mean, you know what I mean. I'm the blacksmith. I work with the collector next door. So if you've got the cells, I can improve your gear. Okay, so we can pour cells. This is very different than the way it used to be. So we can just pour cells into this, and it will improve the general quality of items we find. Each plus after an item's name gives it some bonus stats. I think we're going to hold off on this because I want to give our cells to the collector. Okay, this is a 15-minute door. That's extremely doable. Yeah, we're still working on some important stuff with the Collector. He's going to get all of our cells for a while. And like I said, you only get to have 3 mutations, so we've reached the maximum number. We can reset our mutations for a small gold cost, but I think we still have the right ones. Well, I guess we're going this way then. The Stilt Village. They changed the names of all the levels. Fishing was the main activity in this little hamlet, until the water started turning murky and dark. And then came the fishmen, one assumes. Oh. Several identical messages, all stamped with the king's seal. Citizens! Anyone behaving strangely or manifesting signs of illness must be reported to the local patrol promptly and without exception. There's something written under one of the signs. Anyone. That means everyone. Oh, hey, ow. Well, that's just poor sportsmanship. Hold on, we're gonna beat this guy at his own game. Wanna just be hurling explosives at people? How do you like it? Yeah, what's up now, dude? You can see these ones have these daggers. Hold on, I'll show you in a minute when we're not fighting these cannon guys. These daggers have a little 3-hit combo, or the 3rd hit is a big horizontal slash. Also, these daggers are going to get me killed. Sorry, my poor play is going to get me killed, but the daggers are going to facilitate that. Why don't we grab a little bit of health, maybe? The thing is, I really want to keep getting damage. We probably have enough damage. I just need to stop getting hit. Let's take the health option here. So those bats are bad news. And our daggers create these little biters, these adorable little biter things, whenever we kill an enemy with them. Here we have a timed door that is timed to... Okay, 17 minutes. It's weird that there's a 17-minute timed door 5 seconds away from the 15-minute timed door, but I guess it's cool to get both. I'm a little hesitant to use our health flask, but also I should probably, you know, be ready to survive here. Should we drink? Hold on. Let's wait until this guy turns around and get up here, hit him with the grenades, and then do a terrible job of hitting him with the daggers. Listen, I had a plan. I'm not sure what it was. Let's try again. There we go. So that 3rd hit in the dagger combo is a huge amount of damage. Also, the biters are very useful. It's nice to have somebody on our side for a change. Stupid explosive bats. Also, stupid explosive zombies that are filled with some kind of terrifying worm creature. As you can see, the hitbox on the stomp attack is extremely generous, and it will often hit things that are not actually below you. As if you needed more reasons to stomp everywhere. Oh, a cursed treasure, huh? I don't know about this. Let's do it. Sorry, what was that? Do you feel like this whole place is kind of gently abusing us? Just like subtly? Yeah, that's not... Alright. I want treasure, but I'm not totally cool with the thing that's happening here. Also, that was gross. So, just one little hit and you're dead. Bad news. Eliminate 10 enemies to eliminate the curse. So, I may have killed us. It's possible we'll die now. The good news is we got cool items and also more scrolls. I know that health isn't relevant right this second because we're, you know, at 1 hit to death. But I do still want health. I also still want... Yeah, let's get more damage. And we've discovered a colorless wolf trap. It does cause me to take 20% extra damage, but it also causes victims to freeze each other, and it does bonus damage against frozen targets. This is a really good item. Do I want to be taking even more damage? I also don't know how these percentage damage taken bonuses stack. They might be multiplicative. Even though this is like, I guess you could view that as the main benefit of the cursed treasure, I'm gonna skip it. I think the scroll that we got from it is reason enough to put up with it. So now I just have to not get hit by anything at all until I've killed 10 enemies. Easy. I guess this guy can be one of the 10. I'm not in love with it, but we're gonna drop down here, hit him with all the stuff, and then... Hey, that worked. Oh, boy. I kind of thought I'd be able to jump back up. Oh, God. Get on the chain, get on... Okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. The game does a really good job of letting you panic in, like, an almost productive way. Okay, one down. Fighters, get him! We're going to play in a slightly more cowardly fashion for the next 6 or so kills. Nope. Get away from me. Get away from me. Okay. 5 more kills. Oh, this is good. Yeah, each... Nope. I was going to say each one of those little worms probably counts, right? But no, in fact, they do not. This is that true cowardice. Listen, sometimes it's good to display heroic virtues, and sometimes it's good to not die. Ah! Okay, those bats blowing themselves up does count as a kill for me, so it turns out we're fine. Everything's fine. There you go. Finally, you get to see that third hit actually do something. It's a lot of damage. This is a good weapon. So we could pick up a Nutcracker, which is a huge hammer. Nice big square hammer. Who doesn't love a square hammer? And then also we have a bow here. You know those bows that are like duplex bows? I think I'm happy with our items. Each one of these little side areas has a teleporter in it that teleports you back to the door of the side area. No matter how small the side area is and how ridiculous it is to have such a thing. Well, we may as well check this shop too. I'm not sure what we could find at this point. I guess... Oh. Everything must go. Well, we could eat a monster's giant eyeball. What monster did this come from? Or some more guts. Or... Oh, a health flask recharge. That's a cool thing to sell in the shop. I think we'll just save our money. I know I'm not... My health isn't in a super great place right now. But remember, we heal every time we hit enemies. All I have to do is stop taking damage like a total noob. Yeah, honestly, like, 1% heal per melee attack that lands is a pretty big bonus. It does kind of compel me not to use my ranged weapons, which is maybe putting me in danger of just taking more damage. And obviously I'm taking more than 1% of my HP and damage anytime I get hit. So maybe, what I'm saying is, maybe this is just going to get me killed. Well, that didn't... Nope. There we go. You can see he's too far away for the igniting to occur, but the initial damage is still... It's a good idea to actually hit the enemy with your attacks. I'm doing a terrible job here. Yeah, you'd think that I'd never seen these pirate guys before. These are totally enemies that have been in the game for... At least as long... I have seen them before. They've been in the game long enough for me to have seen them, but somehow I am being completely overwhelmed by them. And also I'm throwing my torches in the wrong direction. Alright, we should probably go ahead and flask up. Cutting it a little close. Alright, lots of gross little worm things hatching out of cocoons all over the place. I don't like this area anymore. It was never my favorite, but now I like it even less. Nope, not taking another plus 100% damage taken. And I don't want to replace either of our other items with a Frost Blast. It wasn't even really worth going in there. Alright, I guess I should be trying to hit stuff with the daggers. I'm all gun shy now. Got hit a couple of times and now the fear has overtaken me. Alright, well, we've got ourselves a village key. I think this run's going pretty well, though. This is promising. Ow. So you may have noticed there, enemies do take fall damage actually, and I don't think it's damage. I think enemies just die if they fall a certain distance, regardless of how much health they have. So if you can knock stuff off cliffs, that can be a totally viable fighting style in some areas. Obviously, the Spartan Sandals are pretty great for that, but a lot of items have some kind of knockback. Our grenades push stuff back a little bit. We're killing things pretty quickly, but I'm not one-shotting everything with the daggers yet, so maybe it's worth... No, let's... Yeah, alright. The thing about offense is that it's also the best defense. I can never remember if that saying is that the best offense is a good defense or that the best defense is a good offense. So I just remember it as whichever one is most convenient for the point I'm trying to make at the moment that I'm saying it. And that seems to work out okay for me. So maybe the best defense and offense is a selective memory. Let's activate this teleporter. And what have we here? We have a happy little rubby statue. It's like a troll doll. The top part's kind of like the hair, except that the face is on the hair then. I mean, look, what do I know about troll anatomy? Maybe the face is on the hair. Maybe that's how they do. I'm not going to judge. Hey, money. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't know exactly what the plan for the series is. I want to show off this game. I love displaying my love for games. I'll take more damage here. Why not? Why not just always take more damage? Okay, there's a key we probably need in that door. Oh, I got myself hit. Those guys have the ability to turn around when you roll behind them, which feels like cheating to me. Like, rolling is that's my whole deal. That's the only thing I have. You can't take this away from me, game. Cool stuff. This is not a bad item. It makes stuff bleed, and obviously our daggers do more damage to bleeding enemies. But it's also purple scaling. Yeah, I think we're going to skip this, even though the daggers do more damage on bleeding enemies. Although, given that the daggers are the lion's share of my damage right now, I think that's true. Yeah, the grenades are dealing way less damage. Oh, my ice grenade is totally bleeding enemies anyway. Never mind, we already have a thing for this. Also, ice grenade is just generally really good. Yeah, we'll stick with our current items. What was I saying? I don't remember. Oh yeah, the plan for the series. Oh, you know what? I got to the place where that key door was, and then didn't go inside. Yeah, I don't know, we'll play it by ear a little bit. Probably not going to be a super long series, and I know I said that about the Gungeon series, and that's turning into a little bit of a behemoth. But in my defense, that game is super extremely good and very fun to play, which I guess means that the exact same thing could happen here. I don't know. We'll see. If you have any feelings about what you would like to see from this game, or from this series, leave those in the comments below. You guys can help guide me a little bit here. I could have come up with my own plan. Who says I couldn't? I just didn't, because I love democracy. I love you guys getting a say. Alright, let's go to the clock tower. This could be the end of the run right here. We're about to fight another boss. Or I guess the boss is at the top of the clock tower. Never mind. The boss is in the clock room. Or what used to be called the clock room. They may have changed it. Hey, buddy, I have some cells for you. Alright, what other blueprints have we unlocked? Wow, 80. I'm very interested in what exactly this thing is. Inflicts a critical hit if the arrow is shot at the right moment. This is not a blueprint I've seen before, so we'll figure that out. Hey, you there! I work for the blacksmith. I can patch up your gear for cheap. I'm not really supposed to be here, though, you know? Let's just keep that between us, okay? Sure. I'm not going to tell anybody. I can guarantee you that. Right, come on then. How much you got on you? Okay, so he's just going to let us reforge our weapons or upgrade their quality. Interesting. So there's a pretty good chance that we'll replace the ice grenade or the firebrands at some point. They're getting a little out of date. This infantry grenade is a little bit more modern. You can see it's an infantry grenade 4. We picked it up later. So I'm kind of curious, like, what exactly is the... It no longer does extra damage to a burning target, which is a shame. And we don't have any sources of poison. We can reforge these modifiers. I like the damage upgrade we got, but yeah, I think these modifiers are not super useful for us. Let's try one more time. So it's getting progressively more expensive. There we go. That's good. I like that a lot. And then we'll just save our money on these other things, because I think we might get rid of them soon. This, I'm fine with the modifiers that are on this. Hard to see how you could reforge a grenade or a bow with a tool like this. Hey, that's a fair point. Very slipshod game design. Alright, let's refill and move up to the clock tower. I guess this video is going to be kind of long. I'm just going to do this whole first run, even if I decide that that we need to split stuff up. I'm going to do this whole first run in this video. The timekeeper hasn't been seen for a long time, or else very recently. Wait a minute, when is now? The question I find myself asking every day. When is now? Surprise! Kool-Aid man myself through this door. So the enemies in the clock tower are a little bit more difficult. We're dealing with a different class of dude here. You can see these big guys have all these mobility tricks, and they can like throw grenades at us and stuff. Or rather, they flip around and they leave grenades where they were. So if you're trying to engage on them in melee, it can turn out very, very poorly for you. Alright, remembering to use grenades, remembering to throw fire at dudes. We should be fine. Everything should be fine. And again, just like the environment art in this game is so phenomenal. Yeah. I think rather than trying to build up one specific secondary stat, let's just hammer away at the health. Like, I could be trying to build up green or purple in preparation for ending up with an item that is not red that I actually want to carry. And if I'm going to do that, probably purple is the way to go. You may have noticed that a lot of these skill items are purple. I don't know. I guess we're pretty committed to this grenade thing on our skills, though. That's not quite going to work. Okay, here we go. I still barely made it. Ow. Hey, that really hurt. And I kind of overshot them. Yeah, the combat's getting a little bit more difficult. A little bit faster paced. A lot of rolling and counter-rolling. I am told that a lot of people have like a very Dark Souls kind of feeling from this. Alright, let's use this mysterious rock. I don't even know what it means to use a rock. How would you walk up to a magic stone and just know how to use it? Okay, well, that was easy enough. We got back out. But we still don't actually know where we're going. So let's have a look here. Yep, the big hit of our combo is really the only one that it's... Oh, hey, that's a thing you can roll through. I was just trying to get behind him. Also, what a bad job I'm doing here. The third big hit of the combo is really the only one that's important to hit with. God, this game's fun. Back when I last played this area, there were not doors in it. Oh, hold on. We got another one of these secret rolly rooms. I mean, it says secret zone discovered, but it kind of seems like there's not anything here. Oh, I guess there's this canvas bag. A dusty old bag that someone left here a long time ago. Oh. Cool. And a tight passage. The hole in this wall is extremely small. I wonder if we'll get, except maybe for a child. Well, it's still small. Doesn't matter if you're a child or not. It's just that when you're a child, you're good at small. I wonder if there's a rune that we can get. There wasn't last time I played the game, but they may have added a crawling into small passages rune. In theory, we should be able to just kind of like discard the body if we wanted to, because I think the thing that is us is really just that weird green goop that crawled out of the pipe at the beginning of the run. So we should be able to abandon the body and just goop our way through the pipe, but also, I'm now getting grossed out by that word. I'm going to stop saying it. Hey, where are you going? Yeah, the ice grenade slows those big guys down enough that we can actually get our full combo off before they can pounce on us. That's cool. Oh yeah, I was saying, people tell me that they get a very Dark Souls-y vibe from the combat, and I know people have a lot of respect for Dark Souls. I gotta say, my This is one of those things you're kind of not supposed to say on the internet. My experience with Dark Souls was not very positive. I played a little bit of it, and it just felt kind of slow and cumbersome to me, and then I never came back to it. I like the thing they're doing, and I even like the idea. Ooh, bell tower key. I definitely had that blueprint last time I played the game, but I don't remember how I got it. Oh, whatever. We'll figure it out. There are secrets to be found. Yeah, I just generally like the thing they're doing with like the idea that you commit to your attacks and you're stuck in the animation a little bit, so you have to be strategic about each attack you make. But I just wish the whole thing happened a little faster, you know, a little bit more Devil May Cry. I mean, damage. Maybe, given all the extra damage I'm taking from my items, I should be more concerned about survivability, but also, killing enemies is very good. Victims' remains explode. The burn damage is considerably higher. It no longer shoots an arrow in front of us, and the arrow actually does quite a lot of damage. You know what? I think I'll keep the one we have. And I don't think I want any of the rest of this stuff. I assume, yeah, that this is going to pale in comparison to the fancy colorless one we have. It has to be pretty good to make up for the fact that it's increasing my damage taken by so much. Okay, it turns out this wasn't even the way forward. This is just kind of how the clock tower is. The effect of the sun coming through the windows with the god rays, like, this game is so beautiful. There have been a lot of games that have come out with the pixel art aesthetic in the last couple of years, but I don't know that I think any of them has made use of it as well as this game. Oh, I rolled myself into a little passageway here. Not what I was trying to do. It turns out I can always just throw my grenade anytime I think, ooh, I wonder if my grenade's up. It's up. It's available. Hold on. Let's go up this way some more. Nope. This is actually the way to the boss, I believe, but we gotta find that key first. It's out here somewhere. You know, you just walk up to a strange rock and you clap your hands in front of it. Ooh. So a red blueprint is a rare blueprint. Most monster types have a rare blueprint, in addition to all of the, you know, generic blueprints that can drop in the various areas. And I really like the way that the blueprints, the rare blueprints, shape your game. How it can make your experience very different from someone else's if they get different rares than you do. Man, why does the clock tower need to be this tall? What is the benefit of having a super tall clock? Why can't everybody just look at their phones like normal people? I'm starting to get to the point where my stomp isn't one-shotting enemies. It's terrible. I feel personally attacked. Oh yeah, okay, I remember how to do the bell tower, or the bell key. We'll worry about that later. We have enough stuff going on this run. Oh man, should I? No, I'm not going to do a cursed chest right now. Okay, so this wasn't the right way either. Huh. Oh, there's a way we didn't go over here. Key's got to be somewhere. Yeah, I think at this point, with the more difficult enemies and the not having any idea how long it's going to be until we actually get to the boss, I'm going to play a little bit more cautiously. I'm getting totally wrecked by this guy's grenades. Well, turnabout is fair play, apparently. Ow, why did I just run right into that? I could see the explosive on the ground there. This is what happens when I play action games. Everybody gets to see how slowly I make decisions. At this point, I'm actually getting no health from red items. Yeah, but also we're getting damage, or from red scrolls. I do love damage. Yep, still going. Sticking with the plan. Enemies that are dead can't kill you. That's just science. Okay, so there's going to be an elite spawned by this this crazy stone over here. I think I'm going to go ahead and drink up before we get into this. Alright, let's do it. He didn't seem that elite. Okay, this thing has 2 points of strength on it. Minus 20% damage received, extra jumps in midair. Yep, taking that. We are now taking considerably more damage from projectiles, but also, we're not really getting hit by that many projectiles. I guess, unless you count all of those grenades that are constantly hitting us, which the game definitely does. So this will remove our only source of bleeding, but this also has minus 15% damage received on it. And a longer slow? Yeah, let's take this. So we're no longer getting any bleeding for our sword, but I think we'll be alright. Yeah, the incredibly long slow seems very good. Man, what if one of the guys who... What if one of these enemies, one of these guys who works here, needs to access the clock tower? How do they do it? Because this is very cumbersome. What if there was a fire? I'm just saying, I don't think OSHA has been over this place at all. Alright, that'll be our key. And of course they've surrounded it with spikes and swinging mace traps. Yeah, the safety inspector is going to have a fit. Okay, which one? This is the one. No, that's the key that leads to that design. This is the one. Here we go. This key door over here is where we're going. I'm pretty sure that actually rolling everywhere doesn't make you move faster than just running, because obviously the initial part of the roll is pretty fast, but then it slows down. And probably, on the whole, just spamming roll over and over again doesn't actually make you get places faster. To drop off our rare blueprint here. Okay, there it is. It's weird. It seems like things don't appear in the shop at first. The ice bow is good, but I'm going to keep working toward this. I'm very curious about this. See, I don't think that rolling actually makes you faster on the whole, but I do think that if you give me the option to press a movement button while I'm going places in a video game, I will press it just as much as I'm allowed. It's like jumping everywhere in video games, any video game that has a jump button. I don't know what that is. Probably it's that I am like a child and I get bored very easily. And you feel like I'm always doing something. Alright. Here we go. Yep, that's ominous. The Timekeeper. What are you, a watch? Well, watch this. We can just use that grenade all the time. Get it all the time. It wasn't a joke. I said get it like it was a joke, but that's not how jokes work. You can't just say a word and be like, "Ha, that's funny," because it's similar to another word that is being said. Okay, we're working this guy over. Uh-oh, that's bad. Ow. You know what? I'm gonna hold on. We're gonna wait and we're gonna heal up. Now we're gonna heal up. Okay, I actually took a ton of damage while doing that. It was not at all worth it. And oh, the frost grenade breaks the chain thing. So actually, we should be a little bit more cautious with our frost grenade, I guess. Uh-oh. Yep, I was probably fine to heal there, but I needed to jump away from the boss, not toward the boss. Well, you know what they say. You live by the dagger that doubles the amount of damage that you take. You die by the dagger that doubles the amount of damage that you take. And so we are secreted from the pipe of heaven once more. Again, just like in real life. Back already. Seems like you've been having a rough time of it. No, hey, I think things are going pretty well, actually. Thank you. Have you noticed how things seem to change each time you pass through? Well, no, not yet, because we've only passed through once. One could get to thinking that the island is alive. It's quite ridiculous, wouldn't you say? I mean, I guess. It contains the gold you were carrying last time you tried. Not all of it, of course. Alright, well, I think that's where we're going to end the video for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you are as excited about this little series as I am. I'm really, really happy this game is finally out. Come back next time for some stuff that looks kind of like that last stuff, but with less dying at the end. And we'll see you then.